TVNC team managers. Today we're going to talk about registering your team on the TVNC affiliate website. This is a requirement for your team to compete in the regional tournament. The deadline to have your registration on the website is December 15th. And then the deadline for your tournament fee to be paid is January 19th. After that, the fee goes up to $100. So we'll start out at the TVNC website, which is at tvncdi.org. You're going to click on Register a Team. And there's a lot of useful information that tells you about how to register your team if you need that, but we're going to scroll down to the link that says register as a TVNC team manager. The first step is to set up an account if you don't already have one. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to click on that link and it takes us to the Texas DI registration page. The reason for doing it this way, starting out from the TVNC website, is because it pre-fills some of the important fields. So you won't have to provide that information. So we start out, we're going to use an account that I've already planned for. So, and the email address we're going to use for this is the regional email address. And then we'll have to fill in all of the information. Of course, you'll want to fill in a real address because we do a mailing close to the tournament and you'll want to receive that. But for speed purposes, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to sign up for text reminders. We've never used this, but if you want to go ahead and put that in case we ever do need to. There's a volunteer code of conduct that you accept, and there's also an agreement to read the Destination Imagination pin trading policy. So we're going to check both of those boxes and enter this code and create new account. Okay, so basically what happens here after you click create account is it sends a confirmation email to your email box, and you have to confirm that. So I've gone to my email box and I'm clicking on the link to confirm it. And it gives you some information that you might want to take a look at. Confirm that your region is Trinity Valley North Central and not one of the other area regions. And you're done setting up your account. If you're ready to actually register your team, you can click here and it will take you to a sign-in screen, and you'll click on this little TM icon over on the right, and that takes you to your landing page. At this point, it will always bring you to this landing page when you sign on. And we're going to add a team. It has some instructions here about registering your team. My suggestion is if you've never done this before, or if you need a refresher, you read through that. And note that it automatically defaults to my name as the as team manager 1. If you have a co-team manager, that person also has to have an account in order to be registered as a team manager 2. And we're going to register that team. Well, we're just going to register a team with any number. School district, well, you'll find in a drop-down box. School name will be in a drop-down box depending on what district you picked. Competition level, if you don't know for sure, you can leave that blank. And if you're not sure about your challenge, you can also leave that blank. My suggestion, don't even register your team until you know what challenge you're going to do. But you pick your challenge and then you enter all of your team member names. There are rules about what level your team has to compete at, depending on what grades your team members are in or what age. There's a grade rule and a birth date rule. I suggest you refer to Rules of the Road to understand. If you're using the grade rule, which 99% of our teams do, you do not have to supply the birth date. You will enter your team members, their school, and grade. So you'll enter all of your team members. If you have a Rising Stars team, you'll have an option of adding 2 more team members because Rising Stars can go over 7 team members. You can click on this link to enter your appraisers or other volunteers if you have them. If you don't, you can still register your team and come back and do that later. But every team is required to provide appraisers or helpers depending on where they are located in the region. Special requests for tournament scheduling or other accommodations. Primarily what we want here is if there's a conflict on tournament day and your team has to perform at a specific time or be finished at a specific time, we need to know that right here in this box. If your team manager is managing more than one team or has kids on another team, we also need to know that here. We need as much information as you can give us. We need to know exactly what team you have a conflict with, what challenge they're performing, and what level. Other information might be about food allergies, that sort of thing. See this box right here? You don't ever want to click that. Don't click this box, team information complete. The only time you would have to click that box is if you were paying your own tournament fee. Most teams' tournament fees are paid by their school district or their school. If you have to pay your own tournament fee, you will have to pay by PayPal, and that's the only reason you would check that box. At this point, you can save your team registration. And this is your registration form. As you can see, it's incomplete. You need more team members. You need volunteers or appraisers. Something that you'll need to know is when you have picked an appraiser, that appraiser will also have to register. And once they've registered and picked your team, then that person's name will display here where it says these appraisers have signed up to represent your team. They'll display, those names will display in large red letters underneath this caption. And you can print your form. We do not ask you to send us a print form, but you can print it if you would like to save it. And that's registering your team. Remember, don't click the team information complete box. You will not be able to update your team registration if you do that. If you do have to pay your own fee, it's not due until the middle of January, so there's no reason to click it before then. And that's it. That's registering a team on the TVNC website.